Hello and welcome very much for a new SSCHNITTLABOR video. Actually, this is now a little revolution. Sony has just announced the new RX10 IV as a successor to the RX10 III. And in this video I want to theoretically compare those two cameras with each other based on my experience of working during 1.5 years with the Sony RX10 III. The main question in this video is, would an upgrade from RX10 III to RX10 IV be really worth it? Never mind, the RX10 IV is still not out on the market, but I promise you, as soon as the camera is out, I will do same as the RX10 III, a lot of tests, reviews, slow motion or so-called HFR recordings, low light performance, focus tests and so on. I will basically offer you the same range of reviews as already existing with the RX10 III. As you can see here, there is a playlist even. So if you want to make up your mind, just follow our channel and you will be updated. But why did I mention the word revolution? Yes, the RX10 IV is a revolution in sense of focus capability. You know, if there was one thing which I did not like about the RX10 III, this was its focus performance. I will provide a link in the description below the video for a precise example of the problem with the focus system of the RX10 III. The RX10 III had an inbuilt contrast autofocus. You must know that contrast autofocus, it's basically the same technology used in contemporary smartphones to find the right spot. This is pretty much outdated, and it was interesting why Sony would build in such a technology into the RX10 III, but most probably they wanted to keep their clients buying also the next following version, which is RX10 IV. And what is this revolution in detail? Now, in the RX10 IV, we have a phase-detect-autofocus with 315 focus points, plus an additional layer of contrast autofocus fields in the background. So that means the focus is supposed to be incredibly fast, same as if you were using the newest flagship, the A9 by Sony. They just grabbed the revolutionary focus technology from the A9 and put it into this smaller, compact camera. And I'm sure that as long as you have sufficient light, this focus system is going to lead to excellent results. Even on their website, you will find the link below in the description of the video. They mention that completely zoomed out, the focus has a reaction speed of 0.03 seconds, which is just incredibly fast. You should know that you will be able to track objects precisely even while filming in 4K resolution. Plus, and here it becomes really interesting, this new generation, the RX10 IV, with its small 1-inch sensor, offers a possibility to shoot 24 frames per second at around 20 megapixel resolution, having access to all autofocus function and having auto exposure run at the same time. The camera is going to provide an electronic shutter speed of up to 32 thousandths of a second, similar to the A9. So in this way, the RX10 IV is some kind of like a concurrence, direct concurrence to the A9, even though of course the A9 lets in much more light. It has a full frame sensor with a 24 megapixel resolution, so of course it's a different weight class. But if you're not a super professional photographer, then most probably you're not really going to miss these 4 million pixels more of resolution, and you will always have the whole range of lenses already connected to your camera when you use this compact format. Same like the RX10 Mark III. You have the T-Asteroid 24 to 600mm lens connected and perfectly measured to the inbuilt sensor of the RX10 Mark IV. There is probably not any lens that you may be missing. Additionally, the RX10 Mark IV, comparing to the Mark III, is going to be equipped with a tap autofocus on the screen directly. This is a huge innovation and it will lead to intuitive results with the focus system. You can even use this tap focus or a slide focus while working in viewfinder or eye viewfinder mode. They also say, and this is something still to verify, that the camera inbuilt image stabilization has been improved comparing to the Mark III version. In addition to the S-Log2 in video mode, now you will also be able to record images in S-Log3. Of course, also in reference to these two video standards, we will provide test video series as already explained. In the following videos we will go into more technical details. I just want to mention here that focus-wise, for sure the focus system already improved because they have a new switch integrated where you can select the focus range between 3 meters and infinity, or you can select to search in the whole focus range, and this switch is for sure going to optimize the autofocus speed dramatically. The only downsides of this new upgrade I still want to mention that even though the A9 has already 2 card slots, still in the RX10 Mark IV there's only one, and even though in the RX10 Mark II we had an ND filter integrated, now in the Mark III and IV still there is no integrated ND filter available anymore. The LED panel on the back side of the camera, this kind of screen, it can be tilted to some degree, but it cannot be moved to the side like in some other cameras of Panasonic and so forth. And also last, one thing I still want to mention, and this is in reference to the depth of field. Even though the marketing of Sony sounds great, you have a focal range from 24 to 600 as an aperture of 2.4 up to 4. In reference to the depth of field, this is not really objective, because whenever you are working with the sensor smaller than a full frame sensor, to have an objective value of aperture, you will have to multiply the given aperture times the crop factor of the sensor itself. With a 1-inch sensor, this crop factor is 2.7. So therefore, the fastest aperture of this lens of the RX10 Mark IV equals something like 6.5 instead of 2.4. And even if you go into the tele range, let's say a focal length of 150 millimeters or more, then you will have to multiply 4 times 2.7, which equals 10 or 11. So the problem with this camera, the RX10 Mark III that I was working with during 1.5 years, was actually that if you would be close to the subject, you are unable to reach interesting depths of field effects, like in the sense of portraits and so on. So whenever you wanted to do a portrait with a nicely blurred out background, then you would for sure have to make sure that you move away far enough from the subject to get to realms of distance, and only then you were able to reach pleasing results. So keep that in mind. With this kind of lens, 24 to 600, which effectively is an 8.8 to 220 millimeter zoom lens, you will have to have enough distance to your subject to reach interesting depths of field effects, which then always means less light coming to your sensor and therefore maybe a little bit more of digital film grain to your images. one last improvement I still don't want to miss to mention, and this is the improved length of HFR recordings, which will then later of course result in slow motion effects. So same as with the RX100 Mark V, now also the RX10 Mark IV is able to record up to 4 seconds instead of 2 in HFR mode. So that means with 240 or 250, with 500 or with 1000, which would equal 960 frames per second in NTFS, you can now record up to 4 seconds with the quality priority setting, or even if you switch over to record time priority, you will be able to record up to 7 or almost 8 seconds in HFR mode. This is not bad. So far my first thoughts on the legendary RX10 Mark III upgrade called RX10 Mark IV. As I mentioned already, please follow our channel if you're interested in more detailed reviews on that topic. Thank you for your interest, very best wishes, and hopefully see you soon.